Did you know that black holes are not actually black? And technically, they are not holes either. So somehow science managed to name them wrong twice.
Hey everyone! That black hole isn't actually black, and it's not really a hole. It's a super dense point in space with crazy gravity. Let's see how a black hole is born.
A black hole begins when a massive star, far bigger than our sun, runs out of fuel and starts collapsing under its own weight. The star keeps crushing itself smaller and smaller, with gravity pulling everything inward harder and harder. Eventually, all that mass gets compressed into a point smaller than the tip of a needle, a place called a singularity, and the gravity around that point becomes so powerful that nothing nearby can escape its pull. Not gas, not dust, not even light itself. Everything gets dragged inward forever. That is why black holes are invisible. We cannot actually see them directly. Think about throwing a ball into the air. Gravity pulls it back down naturally. Now imagine gravity so strong that even if you threw something at the speed of light, it would still come back down. That is what a black hole really is. Gravity pushed to the absolute extreme. And here is the creepy part. There are probably millions of black holes hiding inside our galaxy alone. We cannot see any of them directly. We only notice the strange effects they have on nearby stars and gas. Stars suddenly move in strange ways, almost like something invisible is pulling on them from the darkness. Gas near the black hole heats up, glows brightly, and then disappears forever into the void. It is almost like watching people vanish into thin air while something unseen drags them away. And right in the center of our galaxy sits a giant black hole called Sagittarius A star. It weighs around 4 million times more than our sun, yet it silently holds the entire Milky Way together. Scientists believe it may have formed when two giant black holes crashed into each other long ago. Now this is where things become genuinely strange. Imagine you and your friend flying spaceships toward a black hole together. You cross the event horizon, the point where nothing can ever return. From your perspective, nothing dramatic happens. You simply continue falling normally. But from your friend's perspective, outside the black hole, something impossible happens. They watch you slow down more and more and more until you almost stop completely. And then you appear frozen there forever, hanging motionless near the edge. You fell in normally. Your friend watched you freeze in time. Somehow, both realities are true. Physics literally behaves differently depending on where you are standing. Now let us talk about why you never want to actually fall into a black hole. At first, falling in would not feel dramatic at all. You would simply feel weightless. But the closer you get to the center, the stronger gravity becomes around your feet compared to your head. Your body starts stretching longer and longer as gravity pulls unevenly across you. Eventually, you become a thin strand of atoms stretched across space. Scientists actually call this spaghettification. Yes, your death by black hole is literally named after pasta. And somehow that is still not the weirdest thing about black holes. In the 1970s, Stephen Hawking discovered something that completely shocked physics. He realized black holes are not permanent. They slowly leak tiny amounts of energy over time. This process is called Hawking radiation. Over unimaginable lengths of time, a black hole can slowly evaporate and disappear entirely. But this creates a terrifying problem for physics. When something falls into a black hole, all the information about that object falls in too. What it was made of, how its atoms were arranged. Every tiny detail disappears inside. And when the black hole eventually evaporates, that information appears to vanish forever. But physics says information can never truly be destroyed. Ever. You can burn a book into ashes and smoke, But theoretically, if you tracked every particle perfectly, you could reconstruct the book again. The information still exists somewhere, it simply changes form. But black holes seem to erase information completely, and that should be impossible. So either Stephen Hawking was wrong, or one of the most fundamental rules of physics is wrong. And nobody has fully solved this paradox yet. That mystery is called the information paradox, and it keeps some of the smartest people on Earth awake at night. Now let us talk about size, because black holes range from unbelievably small to absolutely monstrous. Some black holes are only a few times heavier than our Sun, compressed into something the size of a city. Others are supermassive monsters sitting at the centers of galaxies. And then there is TON 618, the biggest black hole ever discovered. TON 618 contains the mass of around 66 billion suns inside a single object. The number is so absurd that the human brain can barely process it. If our Sun were the size of a grain of sand, TON 618 would be an entire mountain range. TON 618 contains the mass of around 66 billion suns inside a single object. The number is so absurd that the human brain can barely process it. If our Sun were the size of a grain of sand, TON 618 would be an entire mountain range, and on the opposite extreme, scientists believe tiny primordial black holes may also exist. Some could be smaller than an atom, while carrying the mass of an entire mountain. Invisible objects drifting silently through space, tiny enough to miss completely. Nobody has ever found one yet, but nobody has ruled them out either. Now here comes the strangest idea of all. And remember, this part is only theory. Some physicists believe black holes may not only destroy things, they might also create things. Inside a rotating black hole, the math predicts something called a ring singularity. And according to some equations, that ring may contain a tunnel leading somewhere else, possibly another part of our universe. Or maybe an entirely different universe altogether. Some theories even suggest every black hole creates a brand new universe on the other side. A universe where the laws of physics could be slightly different from ours. Which raises an uncomfortable question. What if our own universe already exists inside someone else's black hole? What if the Big Bang itself was simply a collapsing star in another universe? There is currently no way to test this idea, no way to look outside our universe. We are either already inside the answer, or nowhere close to understanding it. And honestly, that might be the strangest part of all. As always, I love you guys.